So hey guys, so this is a new what if I created, and this is going to be one of my favorite what ifs because this is what if I was an avatar. So let's start. So basically how we're gonna plan the story out is by creating events on how I'm gonna get to the avatar verse and how it actually happens. So let's say one night I'm lying down, almost asleep, when I hear a voice that says,
You want to be in the world of the Avatar.
I freak out at the sight of the voice, maybe thinking this is finally a lucid dream. I say yes. The mysterious voice says,
Your journey will begin as one of the four elements for good and to change things, but you must come back alive and complete both Avatar, The Last Airbender, and The Legend of Korra. Do you agree?
I think, and then I say yes. So the voice says,
Which element would you like to be?
I would like to be fire because fire is like a very versatile element which is really helpful, and I have some cool techniques I want to create with it. So after that I would say fire, trying not to wake myself up as I still think this is a dream. The voice says,
Then this is not a dream, but a test of reality.
I think this has to be a joke, so I pinch myself, but I do not wake up. I am instead teleported to a void where I see the world of Avatar. I'm freaking out and saying this must be a dream. The voice then says,
I will be teleported to my world once I have completed my mission.
at this point, I hope the voice is not lying, as I would like to come back. And the voice says,
I will be there for an equivalent amount of time in real life. Also says, I am granted eternal youth.
I'm really shocked at this factor, but then I say yes, and I'm then get ready to be teleported to the world. One more thing, the voice says,
That I will be suited in Fire Nation's shoulders and will arrive 2 months before the main story happens.
I then hear this bright light that flashes, and I'm there on a snowy ground where I can see the southern water tribe in the distance, which is really helpful as this spirit was really good, as they were not evil unlike the others. So basically after that I can see the southern water tribe from the distance, and I estimate it should be a while but not too long. So I'm excited as I happily walk towards the village. I'm then given strange looks as I greet them, as I make up a quick story that I was exiled from the Fire Nation due to me trying to stop their evil plans. I then decided to show up here. So after that I would ask the villagers if I could stay there as I come in peace. The villager members are kind of reluctant to agree with me, but decide with it. Saki and Katara wonder what is a Fire Nation member doing here, and they quickly get told that I was exiled from the Fire Nation. I also told the village that I was safely led here by a spirit that has blessed me with knowledge, as I have knowledge that the Avatar is out there and will eventually arrive here. No one really believes me, but I say I will promise to make it happen, or the spirit has failed me. But as the first night falls, I am fed and given food as I quickly adapt to life in the village. I also tell stories that I plan to become the world's greatest firebender, but I first have to quickly study on how to channel my energy and cast it out as fire. As day 2 falls, I get up in the morning and study and try to remember how to access fire and using meditation and breathing techniques for channeling chi. So as I sit up in my tent, after about 10-20 minutes, I feel that I'm calm enough to start training. So after the meditation is done, I start training my physical self as I start doing push-ups and sit-ups to get stronger. After that, I finish my morning workout. I decide to eat the village's breakfast, and later I decide to get back to my training. As then I start to close my eyes and imagine fire as a great heat stirs from my hand as I continue focusing on my breath as a spark of fire, a small spark of fire, comes out on my hand. I'm not used to this feeling as I then get distracted and the fire goes out as I learn that this is a lot harder than it looks. I try again with focusing and releasing my inner fire as a slightly bigger flame starts to occur as I focus on it for at least 30 seconds before I lose the fire. I then interact with the village, telling many stories about the avatar. As the spirit told me, Day 10. It has been quite the day since I last discussed this topic about firebending. As on the 6th day, I imagined and trained in how to sustain the fire and walk with it as I keep focusing, and eventually it stayed for at least 5 minutes. Also, physical training has been going great as I feel a little bit stronger physically, as after that I have interacted with Sokka and Katara, which I feel they're starting to trust me a bit. Sokka maybe a little less, but it is going great. I also have been a great help for the village. Day 25. It has almost been a month since I've arrived and had great progress as I've been able to shoot fire from my hands as I release and control my energy. I also have practiced basic punches and a basic fighting stance as I make up my own fighting style inspired by martial arts. Nothing much else to really say. Day 40. It has been a long journey so far in the village. Time passes like in real life, but with the time I am able to throw many bursts of fire. I am now getting ready to show my talents to the village, and shows how firebending cannot be destructive, but cannot be that destructive, but very useful. By this point, I have successfully gained a lot of trust with Sokka and Katara. However, Sokka is still biased towards bending. Day 55. It has been almost 2 months since I've started my journey here, and I'm really enjoying practicing my firebending skills and getting to know Sokka and Katara. I've thought of a new technique I want to learn, which is called a charged firebending blast, with the user concentrating a fire blast in their hand and enlarging it and then propelling it forward as it blazes hotter and brighter, unlike any other firebending blast. Throughout these weeks, Katara also has tried to practice her waterbending, and I remember trying how to control firebending so it doesn't burn the other person, which I try to help Katara master waterbending, but it only works a little bit, but she doesn't really learn that much. So after that, I also think of what else I want to learn, which is sustain fire jet so it can fly for prolonged periods of time, and lightning bending, as I eventually want to learn it from Iroh. Day 60. So today is the day where we decide to meet the Avatar, as I'm also shocked at the time that has passed and how I managed to improve my firebending skills in just like 2 months. Like in canon, Sokka and Katara go on their fishing trip, and I'm thinking, should I go with them? Would that affect the story? So basically, once I go, I was thinking that I should go to see the Avatar. So the three of us get onto the boat, where I was very hopeful that a similar situation would happen with Sokka, and in which two benders, as Sokka taunts Katara, and then she gets mad and unknowingly bends the iceberg behind her, freeing the Avatar as an intense beam of light fills the sky. I realize at this point Zuko is now on his way as he starts in canon. This is going to be a fun firebending fight, I realize. Sokka and Katara investigate the light and go closer, realizing a person is there. So after that, eventually I say there's a person on the ground, and then Sokka and Katara think that he is finally the Avatar, and Katara picks him up, like in canon, but this time mentioning about him being the Avatar. And so with Aang being awake, similar events happen. And I talk to Aang and tell him that the spirits have guided me here to protect you. Aang is clearly shocked at how they knew he was Avatar, as he really didn't want to take up that job. We head back to the village. I eventually decide that I would have to inform Aang about his journey eventually, but I would decide to wait it out as first. Aang reveals himself to the village, and they eventually greet him, saying that it has been a long time since the Avatar has shown himself. Like in canon, after that, Aang goes penguin sliding with Sokka and Katara with the Fire Nation ship, and I do not go with them as I prepare to fight Zuko. Aang and Katara come back, and the events with Sokka begin to play out as similar in canon, but with little less. After that situation, Zuko arrives. I take a deep breath and get into a fighting stance as Zuko and his ship arrives. When Zuko arrives, I tell Sokka, Aang, and Katara I will handle this alone as I won't be needing any help. As Zuko says, "Where's the Avatar?" I say you won't be able to get him as you have to fight me first. Zuko is mad at this threat. I say, let's have a fight to settle this. I get into a fighting stance as Zuko begins charging at me with a series of rapid fire blasts. Through my training, I easily avoid and deflect the fire. Zuko is shocked to see another firebender here, as I use my special techniques and charge a blast, making sure not to hurt him, but to knock him unconscious, as Zuko tries to avoid the fire, but it is too late, and the fire pushes him back and knocking him unconscious on the ground. I tell all the other soldiers to carry him onto a ship and never to come back as they do so. So I think this is a perfect cliffhanger to leave off on. Next time we will be discussing the fate of the Avatar and what we will do next in the series.